Miss B, you're okay if I like just set it up right here? Yep, okay. Okay. For sure. Okay. Cool. Alright. Cool. Okay. So we are going to start this off with an activity. So can I just have everybody close your eyes for me? Alright. I want you guys to imagine you're laying in bed, you're about to fall asleep. You're all cozy, all warm, you just had a long, hard day. You opening up your eyes one more time before you go to sleep, and all of a sudden you can't move. You can't move at all. Your head feels like it's paralyzed, your arms, your body feel like you're just being held down. You try to struggle, you try to move, and all of a sudden you see something in your room. You try to move even more because you're scared, and then you feel the weight of someone sitting on your chest. Open up your eyes. That is just a brief experience of what it's like to experience sleep paralysis. So do any of you guys already have any prior information or knowledge about this? You do? Okay, cool. All right. So, let's just moving on. Okay. So I'm going to share some of my experiences with this. My sister and my uncle and myself have all experienced this once or twice in our lives. Basically, what happens when you experience this is we have something in our bodies called atonia, and it is released right before we fall asleep, and it keeps us temporarily paralyzed throughout our sleep so that we don't act out our dreams and hurt ourselves. So sometimes we wake up, because this can also happen when you wake up. Sometimes we wake up and the atonia hasn't wore off yet. So our bodies are still temporarily paralyzed, but we are still fully conscious of what's happening. That sounds pretty freaky, but it can honestly happen to anybody at any time. And you guys are all very lucky if you have not experienced it, because it actually is most common in your adolescent and teenage years. Let's see here. I've only ever personally experienced this one time, and I'm lucky enough for that, but it is not something that I would want any of you guys to experience. So I'm just going to ask you guys this, like, why should you care about this? Well, like I mentioned before, this is a very horrifying experience that could honestly happen to anybody. So throughout this, I'm going to talk about exactly what it is, well, what sleep paralysis is, how you can prevent it, and like the causes and effects that it has on your body. I chose you guys for a reason. I chose this age group for a reason, and that purpose is because you guys are at the age where it is most likely going to happen to you. I know it's a really scary thought, but like I said, there are some things that you can do to prevent it. So let's see. Okay, so what exactly is sleep paralysis? According to sleepfoundation.org, sleep paralysis is a condition identified by a brief loss of muscle control called atonia that happens just after falling asleep or waking up. In addition to atonia, people often have hallucinations. So earlier when I did the little activity with you guys and I said imagine you saw something in your room, there are 3 different types of things that are most likely to happen when you guys are experiencing sleep paralysis. The first one is an intruder. You can feel like there is something or someone in your house or in your room that isn't actually there. These are, like I said, they're intruder hallucinations. The second one that can happen is you can feel like there's someone or something sitting on your chest and makes it harder for you to breathe. And then there was one more that I'll talk about later. So sleep paralysis is categorized as a type of parasomnia, and parasomnias are abnormal behaviors during sleep. Sleep paralysis is considered to be a REM parasomnia, and REM stands for rapid eye movement. So what happens? We already talked about this. Normally atonia ends when waking up, but sometimes it doesn't, and you get caught paralyzed and you're fully conscious. So what does this do and how does it affect you? There are a couple of different things that can happen during sleep paralysis. According to medicalnewstoday.gov, like I said earlier, you can have intruder hallucinations, chest pressure hallucinations, or out-of-body movements. So just a little story time. My sister, who experiences sleep paralysis, she feels like there's something that comes in her room, physically picks her up, and walks her over to her window. Obviously, she isn't actually moving, but she's feeling these out-of-body movements. This can leave some emotional scars on people, so it's important to know what you can do to prevent it. But according to sleepeducation.org, there are some things you can do to lower your chances. First of all, regular sleep schedule. How many of you guys go to bed like after 1 o'clock in the morning? Okay, 2. Any after 3? Yeah, okay, so there are some things that you can do to help. Normal sleep schedules, even on weekends. I know sometimes you guys are teenagers, but like it is very important because it's actually more likely to happen to you when your sleep patterns are all messed up. So if you're going to bed at 6 p.m. one night and then 1 a.m. the next night and then 5 a.m. the next night and then 8 p.m. the next night, those are all mixing up your sleep schedules, and it could really weaken your chances if you don't do that. Normal sleeping patterns, again, sleep on your sides. I know this is something, it's not that big of a deal, but it does most likely happen to you when you are sleeping on your back. And you can reduce your caffeine intake before bed. Do any of you guys drink energy drinks right before you go to bed? No, that's really good. Miss B?
No, talk to the Steve. Not bringing me into this.
So if you guys are drinking coffee or Red Bulls or Monsters before bed, that can also increase your chances. So, unless you want to be like my sister, who has apparently seen James Charles as her sleep paralysis demon, I want you to think about your sleeping habits. I mean, unless you guys want to meet a celebrity, I don't know. But that is all that I have for you guys today. I hope that you guys took something away from this. And thank you guys for listening.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.